Okay, this is chemistry, week 6, CA. Oh, uh, yeah, it's pretty easy. Maybe 3, 4 questions that are new about the atom. You know, the protons, the neutrons, the electrons. It's very easy. Okay, I'm gonna go through them. Very easy. Yani, it's super easy. What a nuclei? Okay, the nuclei. Okay, and I'm just gonna explain quickly. You guys all know what an atom is. One quick thing about an atom. Let's say we're talking about Na, uh, Na plus, Na in the periodic table. Yeah, it has a number above it. We'll call it A, and the number under it we call it Z. Okay, uh, A is what we call the mass number, and Z is the atomic number. Okay, atomic number. Okay, in simple terms, atomic number means protons, and mass number is protons plus neutrons. And I don't think I have to tell you guys what a proton is, what a neutron is. If you don't know, this is an atom. Let's say this is Na. Okay, you have in every atom there's a nucleus inside. Okay, and let's say we have Na has actually I'll use hydrogen because hydrogen is easier. Hydrogen has an atomic number of 1 and an atomic mass of also 1. Uh, or no, I'll use hydrogen's second isotope. For sometimes it's 2 for hydrogen. So what does that mean? That means Z is 1. That means there's 1 proton. So let's draw the hydrogen. Like this is just so you guys understand. The nucleus of the hydrogen would contain 1 proton. So I'll put a plus. Okay, and since it's 2 is the atomic number, is the mass number قصدي, that means how do you find the neutrons? Always to find neutrons, it's always mass number, okay, which is A, minus the atomic number, which is Z. A minus Z, and in this case it will be the neutrons is 2 minus 1, okay, which is 1. This is how you find neutrons. So I'll put a dash. Dash is neutron. Okay, so this is how the hydrogen atom would look like. Okay, and always know that all atoms are neutral. Okay, what does that mean? That means the electrons are equal to the protons. So if you have a hydrogen atom, okay, and we know it has 1 proton, how many electrons would have? To have 1 electron, E minus. Okay, this is how a hydrogen atom would look like. Always know the nucleus is always positively charged, okay, because it only has positive atoms, as the positive ions, or charged, or whatever. And surrounding the nucleus, you have the electron cloud. The electrons move in random movements. You don't know how they move. Scientists don't know how they move. It's always random. Okay. What else? I think that's it. Uh, ions. You guys know ions. Sometimes you have H plus. Okay. H plus and then بيكتبوا حدها 1 وبيكتبوا حدها 2. Okay. And then they ask you find the electrons. Okay. What your job is. Now we know in a hydrogen atom the electrons will be equal. Whoa, what's this? Electrons is equal to the protons, right? Equal to the P. I'll just put P for proton. Okay, so in this case, it should be the electrons is 1, right? Electrons should be 1 because the mass, sorry, the atomic number is 1. But no, that's wrong. We're talking about H plus, okay? When does an atom become positively charged? It becomes positively charged when it loses an electron. Okay, so when you put plus 1, that means you take the electrons and you do minus 1. So 1 minus 1. So actually the electrons will be 0. Okay, electrons will be 0. If you get what I mean. How about if I were to tell you Cl minus, and I'll tell you no, Cl is 17 over here. Okay, it's 17 and 35 up here. Okay, obviously it has 17 protons. Okay, but how would we find the electrons? It is 17 electrons, but it became negatively charged. That means it gained 1 electron, right? To become negative, that means you're gaining electron. So 17 plus 1 equals 18 electrons. Okay, this is how you do it. There's questions like this. There's a lot of questions. Okay, know if you want to, if شو اسمه, whenever you want, when you sometimes you have to get these Cl minus. Okay, let's say to get the Cl minus, you always start with a Cl. Cl 1735. You always start with this. How do you change this Cl into Cl minus? Obviously, you need to add one electron, right? Okay, you have to add one electron. In an atom, you know the nucleus is positive and it's always surrounded by negative electrons. You guys know positive always attracts the negative, right? So that means these negative electrons are always attracted to the nucleus. So let's say I got one electron over here. Do you think I'm going to have to push it towards the nucleus for it to attract? Or will it just naturally move towards the nucleus and attract? It's going to naturally move. So will I require to input energy if I want to add electrons? No, you won't. You won't require energy. بالعكس, it will release energy. So I'll put energy. However, let's say I have sodium, Na, which is 11 and 23. Okay? Na, you know, it's the charge of Na is Na plus. Okay? Here I'm losing one electron to become positive. Losing one electron. Type, okay, these electrons are attracted to the nucleus. If I want to lose this electron, I have to push it away. There's forces pulling this electron. So that means I have to put in energy to push that electron away from the nucleus. So that means I have to add energy. I need to absorb energy if I want to lose electrons. If I want to add electrons, I release energy. Okay, that's all I want to say. Like this, that's everything, and you need to know for tomorrow. That's new. Okay, which of the following are characteristics? By the way, the protons and neutrons are collectively referred to as, we call them nucleons. Okay, these are nucleons. Okay, and the mass of yeah, it wasn't in the quiz. Maybe they asked the masses of the proton is 1 AMU. Okay, the electron, sorry, no, the neutron is also 1 AMU, but the electrons are negligible. Okay, they're negligible. But if they ask, because it was in the notes, it's 1 over 841 of a proton. Okay, in case they ask, I don't know if they'll ask, but it's negligible. If they ask what's the value, it's 1 over 841 because the electrons are way too small. So logically, guys, if the electron has a negligible mass, then the mass of the atom comes from where? Comes from the protons and the neutrons. Okay, that's how you get them. Muhim, let's start. Which of the following are characteristics of the nuclei? Yani what's in the nucleus of the same element? All atoms have the same nuclear charge, right? And they have the same number of protons. So if you were to get an Na that has over here 11 and 23, every other Na atom will have 11 protons and in total 23 nucleons. Okay, it will always have the same nuclear charge. All atoms have the same amount of protons. Okay, they always have the same amount of protons. They always have the same nuclear charge. Okay, do they have the same number of electrons? أكيد لا. Same number of neutrons لا. Same number of nucleons. Nucleons means neutrons and protons. Okay, one thing we took it in class, isotopes. Isotopes show that not all atoms have the same amount of neutrons. That's why some masses of different atoms are different. This you don't need to know now. The isotopes are coming next week, not this week. Okay. Question 2. Question 2, which are true about ion formation? Okay, this is what I said. Energy is released when you add a negative ion. يعني when you're adding electrons, energy is released. But energy is absorbed when a positive ion is formed. How do you get a positive ion? When you're separating the electrons, you're losing electrons. To lose electrons, معناتها you have to put in energy to separate the electron. Here they ask what is true about the electrons in an isolated atom. يعني they're asking about how do the electrons move. And I told you the electrons, they move randomly. We don't know how they move. There's no specific pattern in which they move, okay? Obviously, electrons aren't found in the nucleus. They're not in the nucleus. Do they move in circular orbits or do they vibrate back and forth? We don't know. They move randomly around the nucleus. We don't know how they move. What determines the chemical properties of an element? Okay, look. The atomic number. What is the atomic number? The atomic number is the Z. Remember, which was, what is the Z? The protons. Okay? Remember when we had Na 11, 23. 11 was the atomic number representing 11 protons. Okay? So, when you say an atom has 11 protons, directly you're going to know it's sodium, Na. Okay? So, how will you know the chemical properties of an element? Based off of the atomic number. Okay? That's how you know. if I told you مثلا atomic number 17, immediately if you go to to the periodic table, you know it's chlorine. Okay, if I told you atomic number شو اسمه 16, you know it's sulfur from the periodic table. So these things that give you the chemical properties of an element, it's always going to be the atomic number, since it gives you the number of protons. The molecular solids, it's old. Molecular solids, low melting points and interact strongly with water. These ones we call them the acids, if you remember. Molecular solids have high boiling point. No, it should be low boiling point. Molecular solids are bound together through ionic bonds. أكيد it's wrong. Question 6. An ionic solid has a low melting point. أكيد لا. Of course no, it should be high. A high boiling point, of course. Crystal lattices. Oh, this is old. يعني. Question 7. Okay. This was شو اسمه. It came. I think I have the answer for the question. The way it came in the AMS, the exact answer. Just let me check. Okay, yeah. I got the answers. Uh, what I have written here is the concentration of Ca2 plus. These were the exact answers that came last week in the AMS 0.50. The concentration of Br minus was 1.0. The concentration of K plus was 1.5. The concentration of NO3 minus was 1.5. These were the exact answers of the AMS last week. I think they'll come the exact same. Regardless, and I'm going to show you how to solve. Okay, they gave you two شو اسمه uh, what's it called? Ya Allah. Two precipitates, and you have to calculate the concentration of the ions for the precipitates. How do you do it? Step 1 obviously was always write your dissociation reaction for each one. So Na2SO4 and ZnCl2, write your dissociation reaction. So put an arrow, dissociated Na2, so you get Na plus, and SO4, 2 minus. Okay, if you don't know the charges, it's always here. And balance it, you get 2Na, because Na2 here is 2. ZnCl2 dissociated, you'll get Zn2 plus and Cl minus. Balance it, here you have 2Cl, so here you should put 2. Okay, moles. It has 0.1 moles of sodium sulfate, so 0.1. This has 2 as a coefficient, so you multiply by 2, it will be 0.2. This one has 1 as a coefficient, so you don't change it, it stays 0.1. Here the moles for ZnCl2 are 0.2, and it will be 0.2 moles. Here you have same coefficient, so عادي, keep it the same. Here you have 2Cl2, so you multiply by the coefficient 2, you get 0.4. طيب, how do you find the concentration now? What will the concentration of Na be? Concentration equals N over V total. So the moles of Na, which is 0.2, over the total volume, which is 50 plus 150 centimeter cube. 50 plus 150, but you have to divide it by 1000. So let me move this over here. Okay, so it will be 0.2 over 200 divided by 1000, because you have to change it to dm cube. You get 0.2 over 0.2, which is 1.0 concentration, molar concentration. SO42 minus, SO42 minus will be the moles of SO42 minus, which is over here 0.1, 0.1 over the total volume, which is 0.2. We got it from this. Yani you don't have to find it again. You get 0.50 molar. بعدين Zn2 plus Zn2 plus equals the moles of Zn2 plus, which we said was 0.2 over here, over total volume, which is 0.2, you get 1.0 molar. And Cl minus, you do the moles of Cl minus, which is 0.4, okay, over the total volume 0.2, you get 2.0 molar concentration. Okay, this one, if you don't want if you just want the answers of the AMS, I forgot them صراحة, بس يعني skip back 1 minute and I wrote them. You can memorize those if you want. Question 8. Okay, this is easy, just crisscross, yeah, but if they have the same coefficient, same size charge, then you can't crisscross. Okay, so it will be, since they have the same coefficient, you just keep it MgO, they cancel the coefficient. شو coefficient قصدي charges, same charges, you cancel the charge, خلاص it'll be MgO. NH4 plus Cl minus, same charges, so you just put it the same way. Ca2 plus N3 minus, you crisscross, take the 2 to the N3, take the 3 to the Ca, we Ca3 and 2, and this one, you take the 3 to the SO4, but it has to be outside. Okay, and this 2 goes to the Al, so it will be Al2. Okay, Al2 SO4 3. Okay, and I like this. Yani, I don't think there's anything else. Yani, okay, this one. Here they're saying an atom is represented by the atomic symbol Z and then A on top. What is A? A we said is mass number, and Z we said is atomic number. Okay, here they're talking about bromine. Bromine has 80 as the mass number and 35 as the atomic number. So how many protons do we have? We said the protons is always the atomic number. How do you find the neutrons? Neutrons is always A minus Z. So 80 minus 35 equals 45. And electrons, since it's an atom of bromine, it doesn't have a charge. That means it's neutral. So that means the protons is equal to the electrons. So it will be 35. Okay. Question 10. Okay, this is the one. This is super easy. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. Okay, Cl. Okay, أول شيء what I like doing, to be honest, uh, is find the protons. Okay, find the protons for everything. Okay, so Cl has 17, Al has 13, Na has 11, S has 16 from the atomic number. Okay, then the neutrons, you just do 35 minus 17, 27 minus 13, 23 minus 11, 32 minus 16, and you get these numbers. Okay, and the protons, we got these. Electrons, okay, always have your neutrons and protons before the electrons. Okay, Cl minus, أول شيء you have to check, is it an ion, is it charged or no? If it is charged, you have to check, is it negative, does it lose electrons or gain electrons? If it's negative, it gained electrons. -1 means it gained 1 electron. So 17, it should be 17 electrons because it would be neutral, but it's negative, so it gained 1 more electron. So 17 plus 1, you get 18. This one, Al3 plus, it's positive. That means it lost 3 electrons. So you take, how much electrons is supposed to be? 13, because electrons equal protons. But it lost 3, so 13 minus 3, 10. Na plus, it's positive. It lost 1, because it's plus 1. How many electrons is supposed to be? Should be 11. Loses 1, 11 minus 1, 10. S2, 16. It should be 16 electrons. However, it's negative. That means it gained 2. So how many electrons is supposed to be? 16, but it gained 2, becomes 18. Okay, question 11. Oof, it's 23 questions. Okay, which diagrams represent atoms? Atoms, يعني, they're neutral. Okay, which one? They're basically asking which ones are neutral. Okay, this one has 1 proton, 1 electron. فأكيد is going to be neutral. +1, -1, they cancel. Neutral. This one has 1 proton, 1 electron. Neutrons don't have charges. Of course, remember that, okay? 1 proton, 1 electron. So again, +1, -1, they cancel. Okay, it's neutral. C has only 1 proton, so only has +1, so it's positive. This one, D has 1 proton, but 2 electrons, so -1, -1. They don't cancel. It's going to be, the charge of this is -1, so it's negative. Okay, this one has 2 protons and 2 electrons, so +2 and -2, they cancel. This is neutral. So you get A, B, and E. Which one is positive ion? We said it's C because it only has 1 proton. Okay, which one represents a negative ion? We said it's D because it has 1 proton but 2 electrons. So the number of negative atoms, negative charged, are greater than the positive. The number of protons, we said, is represented by the atomic number, not the mass number, the atomic number. Which one has atomic number 2? Yani we're saying 2 protons. Okay, 2 protons. This one has 1. This one has 1, 2 for this one. And let's just look at the other choices. This one only has 1, and this one only has 1. Okay, if I wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, question 13. The mass number indicates the number of protons and neutrons. Okay, mass number هي لما يكون في protons and neutrons, both of them. Which one has an atomic symbol of 2 and 1? Okay, 1 means there's 1 proton. How do we find the neutrons? You do 2 minus 1, so 1 neutron. Okay, if we want which one has 1 proton, 1 neutron. This one has 2 protons, 1 neutron, so okay, no. This one has 2 neutrons, 1 proton, no. This one has 1 proton, 1 neutron, so I take it. This one has 0 neutrons, so okay, wrong. Okay. Question 14. Let me see if I have the answers for this also. Yeah, I do. It was actually the moles of Fe2 plus, this was in the exam, is 0.30, and the moles of Cl minus is 0.60. Okay, literally all you had to do is write down the equation and multiply by the coefficient. I'll show you now. So this was the answer in the exam, 0.30 and 0.60, in case you want to memorize, you don't want to solve. Okay, CrNO3 is dissolved, so you have to write the dissociation. CrNO3 dot 3 bar. Okay, it dissolves into Cr and NO3. Balance it. Cr is 3 plus and NO3 is minus. Okay, but you have to balance. This had 3 NO3, so you have to put the 3 over here. Okay, then what do? You have 0.5 moles of CrNO3. They want the moles for each one. Okay, they have the Cr and the CrNO3 have the same coefficient, so it's going to be 0.5. But this one has 3 as a coefficient, so you have to multiply by 3, so it will become 1.5. That's it, yani. Okay, if you want the answer for the exam, it was 0.30 and 0.60. Question 15. What are the positive particles? They're protons, and the neutral particles are called neutrons. Okay, straightforward. If it gains electrons, it's going to be negative, obviously, and it's going to be positive if it loses electrons. Okay, you guys know this. 17, an anion, we said it's negatively, this is old. 18, cation is positively. 19, you just names the ions. This is very old, yani, they came every time. Calcium, get from periodic table, Ca2 plus. Chloride, group 7, Cl minus. Copper, it's 2, it's 2 plus. Sulfate, you memorize it from the table, SO4, 2 minus. At this point, you should know them, yani. Question 19 is not loading. Name salts of the given 10 cat. Okay. I'll open question 19 after I'm done. I don't know why I skipped it. Okay, the network solids شو هن diamond و silicon dioxide. This one, memorize it. والmetallic solids هن gold and iron. These are the metals. Question 2. Okay, yeah. Don't get confused, please. I know it looks scary, but it's very easy. Nitrogen monoxide gas, NO, reacts with oxygen gas to produce nitrogen dioxide gas, releasing 56 kilojoules per mole of nitrogen monoxide. Give the equation. Okay, it's super easy. So nitrogen monoxide reacts with O2 to produce NO2. أول شيء put the states. They said gas, gas, and gas. فكلهم G, G, و G. تاني شيء balance. Okay, here you have O2, here you have O2. But sorry, here you have 3 O's. There's 3 O's, right? But on the right you only have 2 O's. So what do? You have to multiply it by 2. Okay, now it became 2n. So how do you fix that? You put the 2 over here. Now is it balanced? 2n, 2n, 2 O's here and 2 O's here gets you 4 O's on the left, and 2 times 2 over here gets you 4 on the right. It's balanced. It's balanced, but we said it's releasing 56 kilojoules per mole of nitrogen monoxide. Do you put 56? No, you don't. You don't put 56 because we said per mole of nitrogen dioxide, monoxide قصدي. Here we have 2 moles. So what do? You have to multiply by 2. It will be 112 kilojoules. Okay, and this is how I wrote it. Question 23. I think this one was easy. Yeah, they gave you a equation. A sample of 10.2 grams of ammonia burns to produce nitrogen. You guys, they said excess. Don't you have to do limiting reagent and excess read? No. No need. You're only given one value. The only time you would use excess limiting is if you have 2 values given. But you only have 1 number given, forget about that. Okay, to produce nitrogen, 10.2 grams ammonia to produce nitrogen. Find the mass of oxygen. Okay, ammonia is NH3. Okay, you got 4 moles. Okay, and you have 10.2 grams. Okay, we want the oxygen. Oxygen is 3 moles. Okay, but we want to know how much is the mass. So you cross multiply, you do 10.2 times 3. I'm not sure if this is the correct way. And then you divide by 4. Yeah, okay, I did it wrong. Hold up. What I don't know. Yeah, my fault. You have to have mass up and down, or moles up and down. You have 4 moles of ammonia here. If you have moles up, that means you have to put moles down. Okay, that's how you do it. What you have to do, uh, either put moles up and down or mass up and down. I know what I did. I found moles and equals m over m. Okay, which is mass 10.2 divided by ammonia, which is 17. And I got, what was the answer? 10.2 divided by 17. 10.2 divided 17. 0.6. I got 0.6 moles. So I put 4 and then I put 0.6. This is RR and GR, by the way. For those who know it by RR and GR, this is what RR and GR is. Okay, and then for oxygen, I did the same thing, 3 moles, x moles. I found that the moles of oxygen was 3 times 0.6 divided by 4, 0.45. Okay, I got 0.45 moles okay, and then I did N equals M over M. N is 0.45. We want the mass. The molar mass of O2 is 32. I cross multiplied, and I think you get 14.4 just to make sure. Yeah, you do. Okay, you get 14.4 grams. If you want to do it a different way, you can just put 4 times NH3 is 4 times 17, right? So 4, because NH3 is 17, which is 34, 68. And down you put 10.2. And then for oxygen, it's 3 times O2, so 3 times 32, which is 96. 96. So, and you put X down, and if I'm not wrong, you should get the same answer. Yani 10.2 times 96 divided by 68. Yeah, 14.4. Do both ways. عادي, both of them are correct. And then let me see what question 20 was. هلا I'll show you. Wait. Okay. Question 20, it's just naming. يعني you get these from the periodic table. Ag is silver, I is iodine, but it has to end with IDE always, because it's group 7. So you put iodide, but أكيد don't put capital letters. Pb is lead, okay, but lead is II, so you put lead, I don't know if it's like this. How was it for you? Yeah, you put it like this. Lead, II, and then sulfate. Oh, Li2 is lithium, CO3 is carbonate. فهيك بتحط يعني it's easy. هيك نكون خلصنا الكيمستري. Thank you for watching. Bye. Good luck.